It doesn't matter. The point is, ESPN banned me in a week. And I wish more Twitter personalities would be honest about what is actually happening to their accounts. How many accounts have they signed up for? I wish it would be a law. If I had to, institute a green means go law, let me do that right now. GMG law. We're going to talk about ESPN today, specifically ESPN Bet, and we're going to be transparent because I call for the repeated act of transparency in the sports betting landscape, and we don't have that. Across the board, we don't have sports betting personalities who are willing to come forward and be open and honest with the community. And a lot of people are going to rationalize that by, oh, it's understood. Like, people should know that. And I think that is just a cop-out answer. I think that is called gaslighting to some degree. I know that's a little bit extreme and maybe a little bit too harsh of a word, but I think that there are people who are starting this sports betting journey and who get sucked into things that are dishonest or maybe somewhat scammy. And we need people to stand up and to say, this is what's going on. So today, that is my mission. My mission is to talk about ESPN Bet. If you don't know this Greek word, I'd imagine that it's worth Googling after this video, or somebody can drop it in the comments. But this is kind of how I feel today, because I've wanted to put it on the back burner and deny the fact that this is happening, and I cannot do it any longer, and this is why I know it is happening. Because I am limited on every sportsbook. I made a video about it not too long ago, and I've kind of walked through my exact limits at every sportsbook. And I have a wife, and of course, that means I have a player too, and she is also limited. And we're at a crossroads where I have to say, do I just utilize my limited accounts and get down what I can and arbitrage where I can and play the promos where I'm not promo banned, or do I seek out other accounts? Here's the deal. We can make a video about what other accounts entail in terms of the effort and how it's rather unrealistic for 90% of sports bettors to undertake, and I hope my story can show that. But here's what I decided to do. I decided to sign up a player 3. I'll keep them anonymous. It was my mom. I decided to sign up my mom for ESPN Bet because they were offering in my state a $1,500 sign-up bonus or risk-free situation, get your money back. Also, my daughter is absolutely just whacked out sick right now. So she's sitting here watching a show and coughing her head off. I've given her the medicine. I've given her the rest. She's got the fluids to hydrate. She's got the tissues. You good? She got the thumbs up. She's good, but if you hear that coughing in the background, there's no way to redeem that. So I apologize, but I'm taking care of her. Don't worry, okay? I'm not neglecting my child. So I signed up my mother for ESPN Bet, and I did the risk-free $1,500 get your bet back if you lose. I did that bet. I hedged it with FanDuel so that I could guarantee myself profit, and within 2 days, I was limited. Within 2 days after that bet, I did not place any other bet that could be constituted as sharp. All I did was play promos and place that bet. So I placed the risk-free bet, and I played a couple of NFL promos that were given to me by ESPN Bet for that weekend. That's all my action on this book. I would argue that that is square action. I was not hitting EV lines. I was not live betting. I was not getting closing line value. I was literally playing parlays from promos. And in 2 days, I was limited. Okay, well, that's disheartening because I signed up for this book hoping that there could be some longevity. That's okay. I know why they got me. And I'll just stop right here and I'll say they got me because of my Wi-Fi. So let's just take a second and analyze the situation. I can no longer sign up a player 3 on my Wi-Fi because they have my IP address linked to my other banned or limited accounts. And so any other account that is tied to that address is going to automatically be banned. These books are smart. These books are good. These books have the technology to limit people who are multi-accounting. And I wouldn't even call it multi-accounting because I had my mother's consent, and legally it is a gray area, but it's for all intents and purposes, it is legal right now to sign up somebody else and to use somebody else's account with their consent. So, I wasn't breaking the law, but ESPN was able to, through my IP address, figure this out. And this is not an ESPN, like ESPN Bet is good, fundamentally good in terms of their tech and their UI and like their awareness, but there are better books. FanDuel does the same thing, limits based on IP addresses. DraftKings, same situation, right? So ESPN, Caesars as well. These books are getting good. So, okay, fine. I'm limited. I can, it's the same limits as my other accounts. I can still get down promos. Great. And really that's what I care about, because ESPN was offering great promos, or has been offering great promos as compared to the rest of the market. So fine. I bet promos 3 out of the next 4 days. I even took a day off. Let the account cool. I won some of those bets. I was able to prove that within 5 days, the short term, that I could be a winning better betting promos and parlays. Like, it doesn't matter because they already had eyes on my account because of the IP address. But I say that sarcastically because books should always have the edge in the long term. They own the juice. The house has the VIG advantage, and yet they're so quick to limit, and have been quick to limit, when it's like, wait a minute, if you lose short term, there's a chance, and a pretty good chance, you win long term, unless you can identify 100% that this bettor is sharp. They're getting closing line value on 75% of their bets. They're placing niche markets that maybe alert for an arbitrage or a plus EV opportunity, which, side note, books should allow people who they know they're arbitrage betting, because arbitrage bettors do not care which book wins or loses, right? So if you can guarantee action on your site, as long as you're setting good lines, you should always allow the arbitrage bettor. But books can't set good lines, thus they get beat over time. Anyway, I bet 3 out of the 4 days. I bet probably negative EV bets in a vacuum, but with the promo, maybe they were fair value or slightly EV. And before the week was up, before 7 days had passed, my promos were gone. So I open a player 3 from my home, new device, mind you. I should also add, new device that I have never used before for another, even sportsbook, let alone the ESPN. New device, signed up, bet, won some money on negative EV bets or backed by promos. And within a week, I was limited and promo banned, thus negating the worth of that account, putting me into the same box as player 1 and player 2. And it was disheartening. And it was a warning to me, and part of why I'm making this video, to say, it's twofold, because my anger and my frustration comes from the lack of transparency from these big accounts on Twitter, from accounts who claim that they can keep an account fresh, they can do all that. They have that those ways are possible, but the actual fundamental way you sign up for a book and operate on an app is the key piece here. So I'm going to tell you, this is what people are doing. And there are Twitter handicappers, Twitter EV guys, Twitter personalities who are in the sports betting world, who you look at and you see in their bio, they have the Discord, they have the WAP, they have their picket slipped, pinned at the top. Here's what I made in 2024. And it's over 6 figures. It's 120K or more, right? They're flexing how much money they've made. And then you look, and their post from yesterday is a DraftKings promo where they got $50 down. Now, guys, it doesn't take a genius or even a magna cum laude to understand that there's something going on here. If these guys are able to make the money that they say they are, they do not get $50 promos from DraftKings. I saw slips this weekend of guys making 6 figures who got $300 down on an MGM touchdown. You can't even get $3 on an MGM touchdown. These people here's what they're doing. Are you ready? And I'm going to tell you what they're doing, because it's not a secret. And if they can say, oh, well, it should be obvious what we have to do at this time. Like, I'm not trying to deceive anyone, but you're not telling them the truth. If you want to realistically make multiple players and operate those accounts in order to sustain an edge, and that edge being able to get down money on books, here's the process. One, you have to get the information from the person, whether that is your spouse, that's pretty easy, whether that's your mother, a little harder, or a friend, even harder, I would argue. You have to get their information. That's address. That's driver's license. You have to get their bank account or PayPal. Heaven forbid you use PayPal and now you're on the hook for some taxes that they're going to throw at you when you withdraw. But you use PayPal, probably the easiest way to do it. Okay, that's the easy part. And some would argue that that's not easy, to be able to have somebody give you every bit of information on their life, more or less. Bank account numbers, routing numbers, that kind of thing is necessary. So you get all that information. First of all, you get somebody to trust you, right? Like, hey, I'm going to make this money. I guarantee you I'm going to make this money. And that's the hardest thing to my mom. It's like explaining to her, like, we can't lose, Mom. We can't lose. It sounds stupid. It sounds degenerative, but it's true. Okay, when you arbitrage, it doesn't matter. You guys get that part. Here's the hard part. Here's what you have to do. You have to go out and buy a burner phone. There's no way around it, because you can't use your own Wi-Fi unless you are going to get in your car every time you want to bet and drive to a place that offers Wi-Fi, whether that is a Starbucks or what have you. And I don't even know if that would work, but hypothetically, that would be like the next option outside of getting a phone, a burner phone. You would have to drive to a public place with Wi-Fi. Now, we know, if you've bet for a while, that speed is the biggest thing when EV arbitrage, getting closing line value. You have to be fast. So, an alert pops up for whatever Discord you're in or whatever software you use, and you see, oh my goodness, this is a 10% EV play. I need to play this. Let me get in my car. Let me get my coat on. Let me warm it up. Get the frost off the window. No. It's dead before you can even pull out of the driveway. So what you have to do is you have to get a burner phone. You have to go out and buy a phone. Not hard, but for 90% of people, I've lost you. For 90% of people won't even sign up for DraftKings, FanDuel, ESPNBet, MGM, Ballybet. They won't even sign up for 5 different books themselves, because signing up for books is time intensive. It takes a while. It takes effort. They won't even do that. So now I'm asking you to go out and buy a phone. Oh, but you can't use Wi-Fi on that phone, so you need a plan. Okay, well, now we have to get Mint Mobile or Cricket Wireless or something that is affordable and can allow you to just bring a phone on, right? Good luck getting a Verizon or AT&T situation, because you got to use one of their phones. It's got to be unlocked, and that whole thing. So you got to find a burner phone. You got to sign up for Mint Mobile at $40 a month, and then you got to get all their information. And it's like, and I don't know what I want, because I'm not going to do that. It's not the juice is not worth that squeeze for me. That's a lot of effort for what? The potential limits in 2 weeks instead of 1 week? I know people have success doing it, and I know there are ways that it can be, but the effort to me is not worth what is inevitably going to happen, and that is limits. That is promo bans. I could not, if I wanted to, keep a fresh MGM account alive for more than a month. If I was trying to make money and simultaneously keep that account alive, parlay, square bets, be darned. It's not happening, guys. It's not happening. There is no way you can attempt to make money in the way of EV betting, arbitrage betting, plus same game parlay edges. It doesn't matter. If you are making money, you are getting limited. And anyone who tells you otherwise has an ulterior motive, and it's to sell you something, a Discord, a link, whatever. I wish that, and again, it doesn't matter. Like, my life does not change because of any of this, all of these instances. But when I look at people, and I said this from the start, when I started this channel, I said, I don't want to be everybody else. I don't want to ever sell you anything. I don't want to ever guarantee money. I honestly don't even want to give up picks. And I feel so much better now that I'm not making videos giving out picks. I want to be someone who informs a community about what's changing in gambling. I want to be someone who, if something comes up, somebody says, what's Green Means Go say about this? Because he's going to shoot me straight every time. That's what I want to be. And I wish people on the internet would be the same way. I made a video about, the Twitter beefs with the handicappers and people arguing. And it's like, I think there's a morally right and wrong side usually of the argument. And there's somebody who is in the less gray area. But at the end of the day, often those people are still in a gray area because they're still trying to deceive in some capacity a group of people so that the group of people will believe they can make money without a shadow of a doubt by joining whatever group they have, paying for it to join. And then if they do or if they don't, who cares, right? Because I've gotten your sign-up offer. I would have so much respect for a EV personality, somebody on Twitter who, I don't want to call out anybody, but the guys, right? I would have so much more respect for them if they said, here's this $50 DraftKings Golan First 10 promo. You notice how I'm getting $50 down? Your account probably has 10. You know how I have 50? Because this is the 7th person I've signed up for DraftKings. Here's how I did it. I went out and I went to Walmart and I bought an iPhone 10 with a cracked screen. It was refurbished, so it works. And then I went and I got Mint Mobile. I signed up in my name, and I'm paying that monthly. And then I went to my aunt, whose daughter just turned 21 rather. She just turned 21. I don't know. She's my cousin, but I don't know her age. She just turned 21, and she was willing to give me all of her personal information, including her bank account, her passwords, her email, everything that I could possibly need to run an account with. And I promised her that I would give her a portion of the money. Okay, and here's we'll get to that. Let me finish this and then we'll get to that. Give her a portion of the money. And so, that is how I am able to operate this DraftKings account and get $50 down. And guess what? When this inevitably is reduced, because it's going to be evident that I am a profitable bettor, because if I'm not a profitable bettor, this was all a waste of time. So the only way this was worth my time is if I make money. And if I make money, I'm going to be limited. I'll just sign up my other cousin who's 21 in about 6 months, right? It's the same cycle. And if people knew that, I think there would be less people wanting to jump into these discords because they would say, wait a second, I don't know if that's worth it for me. Just a Joe Schmo with a 9 to 5. I'm not going to be able to sign up all these people. So, what is it worth it to me? And again, I shouldn't be bothered by this, but I have always, for my entire life, my existence on this earth, I have hated dishonesty. I have hated when people are able to benefit from something that I determine, and I am not the arbiter of truth, but something that I determine to be, a little bit dishonest. Right? And I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm perfect. I promote AVO and I promote OddsView. And I do that because arbitrage betting is the only guaranteed way to make money. Yes, you will probably get limited. Yes, I am limited. Yes, I sat down last night and I opened up AVO's live betting and I used that software and I made $200 in a night with limited accounts. I did hit a middle that boosted that significantly, but it's still possible. You have to grind. You have to be willing to put in that work, but that is different work than is getting a whole phone plan and signing up signing up strangers, okay? And here's the last thing on this. And I realize this is no longer about ESPN Bet. This is just about my rant. But hey, it is what it is. When you sign up someone, they obviously are going to want a piece of the pie, a cut, because now the tax burden is in their name. And I'm not going to touch that. The tax burden is in their name legally. They're going to want money. Nobody's going to give you all this information. They're going to allow you to make a bunch of money and not get a piece. So you're paying for Mint Mobile. You're paying for the burner phone. You're probably giving them a percentage of the money back that you've won. And that's if you can guarantee a winning. And you can with lucrative sign-up bonuses. But, these are all things that have to affect the bottom line and have to be considered. And then in a month you get limited. And what if you have a bad month? I mean, I have had books, Caesars, and this, sorry, I could talk all day, guys. I could talk all day. I need a show. This is my show. Green Means Go show. I was negative on Caesars when they cut me off. So it is possible to be negative on a book, but show closing line value, show the act of, he's betting second quarter totals in this NBA game. Oh, he just placed a bet on tennis set spread. Oh, 94% of his bets are straight bets. 2% are parlays, but they're related to promos. Like, these books have the ability to, in a click of a button, monitor your account and get all the data they need. They know if you are a sharp bettor. So you could be betting sharp things and getting the wrong side of variance, thus losing money, and then your account is cooked. So that is also a possibility. That is why I personally am not willing to go out and beg on the street for people's social security numbers and bank accounts and rush to who's that guy who's the Mint Mobile? He looks like this in the commercials. He's got the glasses on, a handsome guy. I mean, straight as I am, handsome guy. Ryan Reynolds, maybe? Ryan Gosling? Ryan Tannehill? One of the Ryans. He's on the Mint Mobile, so they're probably reputable, I think, or they gave him a fat paycheck. It doesn't matter. The point is, ESPN banned me in a week. And I wish more Twitter personalities would be honest about what is actually happening to their accounts. How many accounts have they signed up for? I wish it would be a law. If I had to institute a green means go law, let me do that right now. GMG law. Be transparent. How many P's you got? That's what it comes down to. How many P's you got? What's your P count? How many bodies do you have? Guys, enjoy your weekend. Hopefully you enjoyed your week. Thank you for coming by. Oh yeah, I got a new setup. Got the whiteboard back here with that's a real plant. That's not a faux plant. That's faux and real. I got to water that sucker. Have a good week. We'll talk Super Bowl soon. We'll talk stuff soon. I love you guys. See ya.